something we're going to be studying a lot in the seminar is this idea of the hotspot. So these are moments where something kicks off, like there's some kind of that happens, and it might behind that might it might generate rage or despair or hopelessness or many other emotions. So, an example might be somebody says something like, well, actually, maybe, you know, um, I don't believe it. I think it's just geological timescales and the sun that's causing the issue, right? I mean, even me saying that now, for some people listening, that could be really woof. How could you
Activating.
say
Mhm.
activating? And on another side, somebody else it'll just become, you go into a feeling of rage, and then most of us don't want to have rage, so then what happens to that rage? It goes inside us. We start to go like, get very, very, um, have a very strong affect from that experience. So what do we do as facilitators when that happens, right?
Well, one thing to remember is that at the hotspot, our personal and collective histories and trauma come up.
Yeah.
So as a facilitator, it can be life-saving to be able to frame or not, first of all, even to notice this, that this is happening. A hotspot is never just a two people with neutral things happening. Everything pops up at that moment. So to be able to notice and frame it can be so helpful. And we don't see this in many mainstream discussions. We look at what happened in COP28 recently, or in other discussions around climate. There'll be hotspots happening, but there's usually no facilitator around to be able to notice it and frame it. So that's the first thing. Might sound basic, but to me, it's still a radical thing to do. And the difference it makes to be able to even name it.
As a facilitator, one of the skills that's most important here, very important here, is to be able to support both the voices in order not just to unconsciously side with one side or the other, but to support both the voices to come out and deepen. And our understanding of those voices, that something in both of those voices is needed if we can unfold the essence with awareness. It might not be so useful the way or helpful to the dialogue, the way it's being communicated. But there can be a shared role of the attacker on both sides. But to distill the essence of what is this person or this collective trying to bring to this discussion, and what is this other collective trying to say here, can at least further deeper understanding in the moment, or a felt sense of more relatedness, which may not lead to a practical solution, but may shift to more relatedness in the moment.
Which could then lead to, or has the potential to lead to something concrete emerging from there, right? That what you're saying, Jill,
Yes.
is so important, that when we have that awareness of something, we can then go out into the community or in the world and do something from there. That's the idea of facilitation, that facilitation is not just something to keep.
I mean, in simple terms, I'm hesitant to say this because maybe it's obvious, but I'll say it anyway, that if I have a deeper understanding of the experience on the other side and a deeper felt sense of relationship, I'm less likely to other that other person or that collective, and more likely to care and to think twice about the impact that I may or may not be having on that particular person or that collective, which I think is massively missing in our world today, in such a compartmentalized worldview that we are living in.